Well, it says I'm live, but I'm not really sure because apparently it's still uploading the first stream. I guess while that's processing, because I'm not rich and famous, and I'm not paying for anything here. It just takes a little time. Processing, it's in line to get processed, so I might be live. It says I'm live. If I'm not, oh well. I guess we'll know if you chat there because I can't access the chat from my phone right now. So what do we have? We're going to make another mess. I was just turning over to get my paper cutter when I got a surprise phone call. I'd like to say from my pizza delivery man, but no, it was from my prescription delivery man. It was locked in between the two security doors because our phone system has problems. The manager has been looking into what the hell can she do. You know, this is her third or fourth property that she's worked out for the company that owns it, owns the building. And I think that now that she's in this property, she's starting to question her bosses at last. Every manager who's ever worked here apparently has come to that point of questioning what they're doing. So, what am I doing here? What did I sign up for? Oh my God. Are you sure? You want me to do this without a budget? Anyway. Okay, why did I just do that if you're just tuning in like I am? These inexpensive but nice papers, they're pretty serviceable. This will make some nice bookmarkers. They use such strong glue on one side. If it was like a block and all four sides had some glue on it to keep the paper flat while it's, working, while you're working on it. As you know, paper puckers up when it gets wet. So technically this should be taped down to a work surface like this and peeled up later. I don't care if it puckers because I've got another habit. I press my paper under the weight of my Dutch oven and a couple of heavy books. That way I am free to move this because I am extremely nearsighted. Oops, sorry. And I have to often. So this is not going to be anything but a bunch of, well, this is going to be cut up to be bookmarks. So I'm not looking for anything that's going to like a heavy duty pigment because we don't want that wearing off against the printed pages. The lighter the wash, probably the safer. Of course, let's see how well this stays. This is my first time using this paper. Anything is possible. So let's just try a little wishy-washy area. And let's go with a little quinacridone pink to the standard pink. Like that right there. Don't move. make another splash here. What color? This is so interesting. Oh, it's groovy. Manganese blue. Manganese blue is the one I mentioned earlier in part 1. Before I had to run downstairs to rescue a delivery man. Being manganese, it can act funny when mixed with some other colors. Warping. Excuse me, Zoom. A message here. Ah, it's from Mr. Gary. That means I'm live somewhere. Oh, there we are. Some silly painting too. Yay! Now I can send you love in writing. All the way down. Well, okay. Now we need a different red to make a different orange. Oh, I could just use vermilion. I love vermilion. Such a happy color. Very exciting color. And if I don't move it, the pigment will dry right there. It'll be a deeper shade. I want them. Keep reaching for the wrong thing. So we can make it follow that line. Not too fast. Oops, sorry about that. Sometimes you just have to make a mess. Oh, I wish I had my good nibs, pen nibs. Good pens. That's a crow quill. I'm so sharp I can do surgery with it. Definitely not something I want on my paper. Some scratching into it to make texture, which is another technique, but I don't want that at the moment. I got all the mic out of that. Looks like it, yeah. Oh wait, no wonder that was so clumsy. Extra right in my shoulder. Let's try some bizarre version. Greener than green green. water. So refreshing when the air is so thick you can't breathe. Outside, I'm fine. That sound in the background is my air conditioning making sure I am fine. Okay, you over there. We'll ruin one more piece of paper. No. We can cut up. So we do this again. Well, now we're going to take it off. Oh, that's two sheets. There it is. Oh yes, this looks much better. Still leave some residue, but that's not bad. Oh. Come on. You don't get it all off, it just attracts dirt. You definitely need a bigger brush. I'm getting ideas. Not necessarily good ones, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to pretend they're good ones. Maybe they'll turn out, but we don't pretend. As it happens, I have two purples that are actually pretty identical, but they have different names. And so I ended up putting both of them on my palette when only one was necessary. Oh yes, asking for trouble. Like that. Okay, let's do something weird here. Oops. A bit more came out than I was expecting. Oopsie. It looks like a hair. It is a woolen hair. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's one of mine and a wool hair. At least I'm representing it on the table. There we go. The metal is settling into the texture of the paper, which is what I want. This makes me want to add more water. Yes. Hmm. I would love to finish with vermilion, but I cannot do that with watercolors and keep it vermilion. Maybe I'll wait to dry, and then I've got some acrylic ink that might do the trick. Once that's dry, that's it. Which is one of the I do like that. But I just felt like playing with my paint box today. Make a mess, waste some paper. Don't worry, it's cheap paper. And take a quick break from felting. Yesterday's project was big. Although I suppose I should try doing something in miniature. My friend wants to make a purse for her sister with wet felting. I've been doing all these trial runs to see if I can do what she's looking to do. And so I've been finding all the mistakes in what I was doing, which is great because it informs my next project. But I still haven't mastered it. And we're going to be trying to do it on next Thursday. So today I was thinking, why don't I just do it in miniature and see how that works. Now it's 3:30. Mr. Gary should be here soon. I see the message somewhere. Ah, yes, tomorrow. I want to go down. I'll do something around here. We have a coloring group, as you, well, the regulars would know. And that's my 1 cup of coffee every week. But it's too hot. There's no air conditioning in our room. There's fans. They really are helpful, but not enough when you can't breathe the air outside. So I don't mind. Now, this is a crow quill. My first pen and inks were all done with a crow quill. And I learned the frustrations of working with pen and ink on cheap paper because I was practicing on the only thing I could get my hands on, which was kind of a high-end newsprint. It was not adequate. This is like a little needle, and it catches every snag in the paper. So the smoother the paper, the more likely you're going to have a reasonably aligned drawing. But you're still most likely going to get splatches and splotches and dots, and when it catches, it spits. In fact, this is why old documents look like old documents. They use stuff like this. It's not all that easy to work. Hey, Gary. How was your day? Getting ready to completely unwind? I'm making a mess that I'm going to cut up into bookmarkers when it's all flattened out again, but I wanted to do an orange, but if you put orange watercolor over that, you end up with mud. So when it's dry, I think I'll try an acrylic. I have an acrylic red that actually looks kind of orangey, But we want that really bold contrast to make it stand out. Anyway, I was talking about the silly pen. The reason that I was even talking about it is because I don't keep it with everything else here because I'll stab. I have bled from these things before, so it goes over here, laying flat, so nothing can happen to the point. Busy. People buying stuff for the 4th. What were they buying mostly today? What seemed to be the shopping trend? It's not like you're a grocery store, you know? It's clothes and things. Of course. Should shower and shave. That's what they used to say in the old days. Crude, but fairly accurate for some people. Get home from work and... Well, I was just talking about doing an experimental design in felting to make sure I've got the gist of what I'm trying to achieve. I finally figured out what I'm doing wrong when I make a flap purse. So now I'm going to see if I can do it right. A pile of art that I actually want to keep, not like this. So yeah, all this has to dry because I can't make another line in it without it just going completely blue. So check out the purse. I made all my mistakes on this, so I know what not to do, and it hasn't been ironed yet, it's still kind of damp. But this did take really nicely on the outside. I screwed up over here and I'm gonna have to needle felt that in. But it's gonna fold there. So the gussets are actually gonna be on the side like this to give this a lot more durability way down here. And it'll just fold, which it'll stay after everything's ironed out. But this taught me so much about some of the mistakes I've been making. Actually, I didn't do this bad before. I guess I had beginner's luck, but this is a new wool, and I made definite mistakes for the way you work with this wool. Now, I'd like to use some of this really beautiful wool over black this time to keep those colors more intense and make this stand out even more. Because I've got this in green, and we have it in I forgot about the cocoa. That would look pretty classy on that too. But I'm thinking something else. This and blue. Yes. And I think if we have a dark color underneath it, it would work better. This is white because I really wanted to show these colors, but I forgot how much, when this top layer is really fine wool, the core migrates to the front. So this has a fuzzy look to it, which it's cool. It's its own thing, you know, because it's felt. So I like it a lot, but I'd like to have less contrast with the inside and out. So yeah, we're learning as we go. But I think this is going to be a nice kind of slouchy bag. when it's got some stuff in it. Like that. And this is so silky, it's not going to irritate your skin if it rubs against it. Let's see what you said, sweetie. I could use a shave, but I'd love a beard. Oh, oh, I was not suggesting that you do anything like shave. Let me get rid of this water because it's dirty, and get my failed paintings out of the way. You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to make a mug cake. I'm not turning on that damn oven for anything, but I've got a craving for a piece of cake. So don't ask me why I'm gonna finish this bag of barbecue chips. It's too salty to finish in one sitting. I've gotten used to using less straight up salt. Oh, that was good. But we don't want it as part of my project, so I'm going to move this to a safer spot and choose a color for my next project. How dare I? Oh my God. What if? No, no. One idea at a time. I have some silk squares, solid colors, but they're square. For doing Nuno felting on. It's gorgeous, isn't it? See the range of colors in this game. It's so interesting the way they dye this, you know, because you got the darker colors on the outside of it, and then the more you expose the fibers, the more you see the light colors that did not get the dye. But it's just gorgeous. I've got black too. I think we'll go with this because I'm going to try using a black base. Oh, I'm just going to make a small, excuse me, a small bag like a wallet to see if I can do it right in miniature first. If I can't do it in miniature, I certainly don't want to waste the wool on a larger project. Now we just got some wool. This is definitely wool. I already tested it. We also have some black silk. I had no idea when I ordered Tussa silk what the hell it was. All I knew is it was silk and something people are incorporating. Well, Tussa silk is silk that's been combed to be like wool. So you can pull off fluffs like you do with this, and it felts more easily. But silk itself does not felt, so you know, care must be used. I'm still learning more about this, so I'm not going to waste it. Now, if I do this correctly, I got some adorable silk tassels with little gold caps. Not gold solid caps, more like braided. It's very pretty. I bought 10 of them, I believe. The original plan was to put them on the bottom of a purse. But this one, I'm thinking of using it to weigh down the flap. I don't want to have to use a button. So I'm going to design it sans button. But then if I have to, I'll make a buttonhole. So this will help lighten up the black, the green. We've got two greens here, the yellow green and the kind of a herbal green. Yeah, I think that's going to be nice. And I actually do need a like a little change purse size thing that I can put into the bags that I'm making, since they've got a slender profile. All right. The setup. What time is it? 4 o'clock almost. Oh, do I really want to start this now? No. Well, yes. I'll get everything I need. Because tomorrow, I am not leaving the building. It's like 96 degrees out there, and with humidity feels like 100 and something. It's like, no, I don't need that. And when my neighbors went out to water the plants, she wrote my initial down. She's watering for me. She said, just for help. She has little seedlings that she's been trying to keep alive. We knew it was a chancy thing, but she's been going out there every day and watering pretty much everything she can stand up to water. And that's wonderful. But she said today, and as a matter of fact, I told the building manager, she walked outside and came right back and said, you can't breathe out there. I said, I know. I can't breathe out there, and I can't be in the sun, so I'm indoors with the AC. Thank God for the AC. I feel for my sisters and brothers in Europe that do not have air conditioning because that's not part of their normal environment. 90. How's your humidity down there right now? We are 97 before you take into account the humidity. That's just what it is. Oh, feels like 109. I believe it. Now, it's going to sound weird, but when I moved to California, everybody talked about the dry heat, but it's dry. It's not like east where it gets really humid, or the south where it gets really humid. Got news for you. I was there for a decade. Toward the end of the decade, it was definitely getting more humid. And how can I tell? My hair. My hair is a weather detector. It'll tell you right now. Yes, it is humid. So, yeah, there will not be any going outside. I think Sunday is the earliest we're looking at. No, Sunday is going to drop into the 80s. and the nighttime will go down into the 60s. But that's Sunday. Monday, we're supposed to have some rain, 50-50, and it'll go down to the 70s. Yay! So we're returning to normal summer temperatures up here next week. It's going to sizzle over the weekend. God help us all. Okay, we need a thingy like that. One of the right size. So let's get out. Big stuff. Let's have some littler stuff. Now, what I learned about this is it does not like bubble wrap all that much. The bubbles come through the will too much. So we're going to be working on the other side of the bubble wrap tomorrow. This is definitely bad design to cut that up. This is more like it. Oh, it's going to shrink quite a bit. It needs to be big enough to hold a credit card. So let's see. Of course, this looks like it is, but once it shrinks, no. That's just extra stuff. A little taller might do it. It's not the right width. Nope. Yep. These are like for flowers. I'm going to have to cut a new one. Now, I love watching wet felting videos. Now, of course, those people who are doing them for professionally, they know how to fast forward, speed up their stuff. I don't know how to edit, so I apologize that you're the one that has to fast forward. Oh, wait, I've got a giant one here. This is what I used for the purse. You can see how much it shrunk. So this is the kind of thing you have to be aware of when you're laying your stuff out. I want my little wallet to be a trifold, so I don't have to worry about anything like a zipper or anything like that. So I think that'll be a good one. We'll just even that out. Now we do have a smaller one, but we're not going to use that side. We're going to use that side. We're also going to have to, let's move you over here for a second, because we're going to need this. Now I don't have the water set up, so we're not going to start wetting anything tonight. The chair. Take the wool. Now, I was trying to explain to somebody today what I do. It wasn't that hot, honey. Sweet potato? I don't know. Did I say sweet potato? Oh, you mean like in my room here? Okay. This is way more than I'm gonna need for the project. It's a braid. Now I'm gonna twist. See, I'll be using mostly this end and a little bit of this for the darker. Well, one of the things I saw people doing, Gary, was just using the back of the bubble wrap or just plain plastic sheeting like that. But the problem is, the stuff moves so much, and on something that has no texture at all, it just floats too much, and it takes a while, a lot longer to come together. Where did I put my scissors? Oh. Get the tools back out. You know what I need to look up? It would save me so many hours. I need to get some of that cording, black cording, to use my purse straps. I don't want to use leather. I don't want to use anything with metal. All right, I think this will work. Just very slightly tapered down here. Now my theory is if I make it the same on both sides, it'll be like when I do a vessel. You turn it inside out and you've got your images, your decorations there. But the problem that I had was just bringing this other one side up partially, and that was allowing that to stretch too much. I believe that this will hold the integrity of the shape. I don't know what is going on my chat. I'm touching things by accident, trying to move. The towel is now. Oh, I finished a silly postcard for Gloria. I'll put some little notes in there. Yep. Sorry. Okay. Good song. Okay, so the first thing that's going to go down on this is going to be the black. Now my problem has been having too much wool overlapping, and we don't want that because it does have to go around and wrap, but if there's too much, when you go to flip it over, you end up with seams that are bulky, and to be right, it's got to be, the right thickness. I need to send you a card. You do? It's not my birthday. So this is obviously merino because you can tell it is, number one, it's very soft. It's got a long staple. You got to pull it apart. These are long fibers. So I have to remember, just barely have the fibers hanging over the edge. And it'll build up and be strong enough without having to have a big, thick piece. This will turn out great. Oh, thank you. I think so too. Now, as I've been studying tips and tricks about making cobweb scarves, the whole thing has to be done with like that. See how light that is? It's like hardly anything there. Oh yeah, and you have to keep the fibers facing in the right direction or they buck up in the wrong way. So you put it all down like that on top of, well, first you lay that down, then you put the scarf on top of that, and then you put another layer in the opposite direction on top. So it knits through the scarf because it's gauze. So you have to get used to making really, really wispy wisps. Oh my God. Did you go over one of their, or did you mow down one of their little houses? The kind of, because down south we had ants that would create mounds around a grass clump and it would rise above the ground. And when you went near it, the whole thing was just nothing but holes for the ants to come out. Just like they build up the sand or mud or whatever and then eat the plant protected by the sand. But if you happen to stick anything in them or mow them, they come out like you just mowed their house down. They're not happy about it, and they will attack everything. A few small mounds. We had them mostly. They didn't really have much of a chance to dig in the back field because the field was always being harvested, you know. And heavy equipment was being used to do the back 40. But when we would go up to the top of the hill, which had been mowed clear and all the stuff was just starting to grow back, we went up there to meditate every night and have a little fire. And whenever we got new stones, we'd bring them up there to meditate with the new stones. But that was when we discovered those anthills and started studying them. That was one thing that Glenn was fun with because he was pretty much as curious as I was about the natural world. So, not that he wanted to do anything in the natural world, but walk around and look at things. I get that. If I was independently wealthy, I would do that too. But it was nice to know I had somebody we could observe things together. We had the same curiosities about science and nature. Okay. Now, I'm already making a mistake. I'm laying this out But I didn't put any of the decorative fibers down, which have to go first. So I'm going to finish putting this together and then move it. Hey, don't go anywhere. What do you put on the ant bites? You can make a paste out of baking soda. I think that neutralizes their little acid mouths. Yeah, don't be stubborn. We need the longer version over here. Come on. Slide on. Thank you. Okay. Let's mess around with viscose. Black is actually, hold on a second. This should be layer 3. Viscose, color, color again, black, and then more color. Okay, well, we're going to move you. I don't have to undo all my work. I've got another piece of plastic. Not too big. One and what to do. I've got another piece altogether. Okay. Just by luck, I got this. I got something delivered in this blue bubble wrap. I've kept it as an emergency backup to work on top of. Too bad it's got a mess up in the middle here. But I figured if I cut this open, lay it flat, it won't have any other perforations in it at least. So we're taking care of that. Okay. Let's put down some color. Light color to come stand out from all of the dark purple here. And dark purple to black. And this is just spectacular. Oh, you know, if I was able to afford it, I think I would make a trip to New York City to check out the fibers. Because New York used to have, I don't know much of it now, but it used to have a garment district. Just like in LA, when I used to go get stuff for my egg art, you learn the places that pop up to support the fashion industry, the designers, the artists. So I got all the best stuff, like Swarovski crystal. Anything they made that could be used in creating dresses, gowns, tiaras. You could buy it there. Their specialty was crystal. They had other crystal there too, from Poland actually, and Czechoslovakia. But they didn't facet their crystal the way that Swarovski does to get that really high refraction. Oh, hey, don't get so enthusiastic. Over here, let's team you a little, can we? Nope. It's not going to do what I want to do. Let's get it out of the way. Come back over here. Now. Two. Down. Should we throw some silk in there too? Oh, let's do this. Okay. We put the colors down first to hold all that in place. It's like a pillow. It's just amazingly soft. I never cease wondering what else is out there, because this is so amazing. Innovative. barely going over the edge. So yeah, I figured go to the city. I'm more likely to find some sources. Where a fiber artist can walk in and go, like I do when I go into any place that has art supplies. I'm home. I always feel like I'm home when I go into an art store. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to cut some of that and wait till the end. Hello. Hello. How is home today? Came in the back door again. My little kitty feet. What you up to today? Just gonna put it in here. Let's see. And with perfect timing. Hey, speaketh. Yeah, don't go do that. Learn. Oh, nice. Very nice. That's better than doing Cinnamon Love the Peggy Bundy way. Yes, I get rich on the second also. I paid my rent. I paid my care credit, which now I'm going to try and get down to a very little amount very soon. But first, I'm going to have to save up for a new pad. That's $319 plus tax and without any additional insurance or support. Luckily, AI is really good at showing you how to set up your tablet system. And the one I've got my eye on is a Samsung. No, she didn't. They deserved each other. They were hilarious. But she believed in not working, remember? No wash, no grocery shopping. When she went out for groceries, she just went and got herself a hamburger and everybody else had toaster scrapings. She was the world's shittiest mother. But they were both caricatures of parents, just like the kids were caricatures of teenagers. I have I don't think I own all the seasons, but I definitely have a few. And I just watched a few last week. Um, oh, you know, she had a big one, remember? She was all about her vibrators. When Al crashed his motorcycle, she took the motor upstairs. Well, you know, it's really funny. When that show first came out, I was married to husband number one. And we watched it because people were saying how funny it was. But both of us were initially shocked and horrified that that was on the air at all, showcasing the worst of the worst, because we met people like them. We knew they existed. But it's not really a life you think about, right? That, you know, I don't think I've ever seen more than one episode of Oprah. Anything with Oprah was usually like somebody would say, and then this happened, or then she did, and I didn't tune in. I just did not watch any television on a regular basis. I had so many other things to. I was writing Nomaris for one thing, those years, the first one. And I was married, so I was taking care of a household. I was working full time. TV, I loved television. We did that at night while we played Scrabble. Well, we used to play games, and every night we played games, which was really fun. I enjoyed that aspect of our marriage. Came across a picture the other day of I was playing Scrabble and my hamster on my table eating a piece of cheese or cracker or something next to my ashtray. Oh, I'm sure you're just a whole nicer kind of person. Yeah, right. That's actually kind of accurate. The version of the Flintstones, except the Flintstones were kind. Those were neighbors that helped each other, whereas the Bundys were always looking to steal things from the neighbors. and spy on them and sell off their belongings and steal things. I mean, it was like, yeah, you don't want the Bundys in your neighborhood. But we were eventually won over. I don't think they really got their stride until the second season. And I thought it was much funnier as it went along. I've only seen clips from that, and that was very funny. It was usually when Leslie was dunking on that woman. I don't know her name off how maybe it's Grace. I I don't know. But when he passed away, a lot of clips hit YouTube, and that's how I picked up a little bit more about Will and Grace. Till then, again, it was just another TV show I never heard of, or heard of but didn't have a clue what it was really about. Oh, Marcy. Yeah, but she came into her own. But she was the perfect annoying, very annoying neighbor. And she was great, a great actress. She also was one of the producers of the show. Good point. Good point. The family unit was way different then. Now you stand back and go, whoa, what did he hell? Yes, it was. Every clip I saw was very funny. I mean, I didn't have all the context, but after a while, I saw enough clips that kind of put things together. See, I like it. I mean, it's funny not just because it was good writing, but also excellent delivery. The actresses and actors were excellent. Yeah, yeah, Chicken Moving Marcy, definitely. With a peck in the head, elbows out, you know. Yeah, very funny. But then, don't forget, after Steve abandoned her, she came into her own, found herself a boy toy, and started getting into a bit of bondage. I thought that was a hilarious turn. Yes, yes, that's right. She worked at a bank and thought herself superior. And then she got her ass handed to her several times in different ways. But sometimes it was funny, like when Steve was supposed to be out looking for a job. Instead, he went to the zoo with the Bundys. He was like just playing with them all day because they didn't work anyway. And she stopped an attempted bank robber by accident, but she made the news. She got shot in the process, and they're interviewing her, and she's like asking where her husband was, you know, that kind of thing. It was funny. Anyway, I thought that was a good episode. And Jefferson was just so funny. When he first appeared, I'm going, who the hell is he? Why does he look familiar? It's like, oh my God, he was Richie Cunningham's big brother who played basketball on Happy Days. Yes, the second, but this time she didn't mind supporting him because of, she got what she wanted. And he made her feel sexy. But of course, I loved the immediate turnarounds like no ma'am to yes ma'am. One shirt under the other, ready to immediately change everything he's been doing. Like, that's funny. Al wanted to stay in jail overnight because it was ribs night and it meant he would eat, which there was nothing but nothing at home except his wife and kids. Yeah, they had some very good episodes. And of course, especially around the holidays or when it was, I forget what they call it. It's the season when they have to present their pilots and hope that their contracts are getting renewed. And when they were, they did a thank you show. Yeah, she got the money and he got the looks. Well, she wasn't a bad looking woman. She was just, you know, one of the guys. I think black is the right color to back this up. The thing is, I'm usually busy when I put on a sitcom in the background. And if it's something I haven't seen in a long time, my brain wants to look at that instead of what I'm supposed to be doing. So I found what works best for me so I don't procrastinate is put on something I've seen 100 times. Now I've got a part of my brain busy, but the rest of me is free to do what I'm supposed to do. It's like when I didn't watch TV for years, and then I used to do card readings for a friend. She always had these parties, and I got very well fed and buzz for doing them. So I loved doing those parties. But when the time came where they turned the television on, that was usually like we're going to pass around a joint and we put a TV show on. And we were sitting. I was fascinated by commercials because I never saw them. So to me, it was like eyes were just glued to the tube. It's like, this is addictive. I'm glad I don't have a television. Then I had a boyfriend who wanted a television because he couldn't entertain himself when I wasn't home. I got him a TV. We never did get it working right though. And I didn't care. It was like, I'm not going to be watching it. You want it to work, you get it to work. I bought it. I had it brought upstairs. The rest is up to you, man. Oh my goodness. She probably said a mother like no other. Oh, is that what happened? Smart house. When did that come out? She did a couple of guest spots on The Big Bang Theory. I saw her in that the other night in the Big Bang Theory. She plays Penny's, no, yeah, Penny's mother. Well, another good reason for her to stop working, they people working there, the actors started having different problems. Christine Applegate had to deal with breast cancer, and yeah, she's had a hard life. And Katie Seagal is a singer. She had a rock and roll band or something, which I think I only heard once, and I don't remember how or why. She's good. And Al Bundy was very much in demand as an actor. Ed O'Neill, very funny, very good actor. I haven't seen Futurama. I think I've seen some trailers. It's a sitcom, right? Animated. I think I might have seen one episode, and I just didn't get it. It didn't drag me in, you know. Smart House. Does Netflix have it? It's the only thing I subscribe to. Honestly, the most important thing there is I'm just waiting for the season 3 of Wednesday. That's pretty much my favorite show on Netflix. Was it like a more of a dystopian version of the Jetsons? There's so many things I would love to see, but means I've got to sit down and do nothing but watch. Or say, I sit down, if I want to see something new, my brain just soaks right in, and I have to really pay attention. It's like I love having a library of stuff because I can just let it go and I can enjoy them again because I forget so much. Actually, by now, I think I can probably recite the Big Bang Theory. All parts. And let me see how we do here before I pile on the black. Yep, we still need some. Let's get some purple. I just see that right there. And you can even stretch you out some more. Hey, get back there. YouTube shows here. Short for delivery service package one. Oh, fun. Yeah, she's done a lot of voiceover work, hasn't she? Okay, now we're talking. These beautiful hues out. Forward. Little more. Yep. See the whole. Okay. Now. This. I think we could do that. Oops, sorry about that. That saved a little time. Oh, isn't it interesting? I wonder why it keeps getting canceled and then coming back. Like it's canceled because it's not getting the reviews it needs, and then somebody who's really powerful and rich said, "I like that show. Put it back on." And someone says, "Shit, I'm losing money on it, but all right. Okay, can't do it again." But I like that show. All right. I don't know. This, at least, this is like two nice rows. Roving. It comes apart really nicely. Now the black is going to be the inside of the little purse. But we want some of the color to come through. The network X. Be funny. All right. Now I'm going to throw some more fiber down to decorate the inside of the bag for when you start cutting things away. And this time I just have to remember it's aqua on the ends and greens in the middle. We're going to throw a little bit of black over this because A, it's the inside of the bag, and two, I want to make sure it really sticks. Now this stuff really makes it pucker up, so you get a lot of fun texture. Now you see, I'm not doing the same pattern as is on the front. I'm not trying to match it. This is kind of like the equivalent of having a silk lining for the purse. It will be super soft and silky. And when you go inside to find the stuff you put in there, it won't look anything but beautiful. It's just, it's not worth jamming back in here, but let's go ahead and get the green. All right now. Don't get too crazy. No, you know what? I don't like that. Let's go with the other green. This green. This end of the green. It's all silk. Mere silk. We don't need all of you right now. It just sticks to everything. Look at that. Take every pore on your skin. All right. Oop, too much. Okay. Now, the silk back in there. Out of my way. All right, now we're going to put just a little bit of this on this side. And attempt to hold everything in place and assist in the shrinkage. We're not adding water tonight. I am too tired to be rolling all this stuff tonight. Just the very finest. Go ahead. The piece of silk, sari silk, stuck to me. Oh yeah. I loved The Simpsons. Now, I'm very well aware of some series because during my marriage, I watched TV. Like I said, we played games and they had the TV on. So even if we weren't watching, we were aware of what was going on. So watching them in reruns, you know, it's like old friends. Although after all these years, Now, when Glenn and I lived in the country, we didn't have access to television. We were too far out, and cable was absolutely ridiculous and not easy to hook up. And satellite, forget it. Satellite, somebody came out to see if we could get a satellite dish. Satellite was like, yeah, if you put it on a 60-foot pole, you guys are in a hole. You're surrounded by country and hills, and you're at the bottom of it. We went 12 years without people thinking we moved. That's how far down the hole we were behind the trees and everything. When they went to the top of the driveway, they could see the fields. And that was it. They couldn't see the house. And of course, our mailman, the post office was very well aware we were there because I used to bring them bread all the time. And our postman knew our dogs. Remember, he was the one that told me that Biscuit had been killed. And he moved him out of the road for me and then came down and told me. Because he couldn't do much more because he was still on duty as a postman. But it's nice knowing out there in the country you got people, got your back. Oh, that's cool, Gary. You can feel his anger. Oh, yeah. You know, when you do live with an animal that closely, you do develop that kind of rapport where you can sense what's coming. Definitely. But that could also be a sign you need to find other things to entertain him with. He feels like he's spending too much time without your attention. They do act out like children. In the 90s, yeah, I don't remember Tommy and I having anything special. We got our first VCR right after it was invented as a wedding gift from my stepmother. The very first thing I rented was something I've been wanting to see since I was a kid, and it was Sleeping Beauty. Why Sleeping Beauty? Because when I was a kid, I had one of those, remember they look like binoculars, and you put these round discs and you can click them and see it in stereophonic, you know? Well, I was given one of those when I was little, and it had basically the tour of Disneyland's. Actually, it wasn't a tour. It was like the cartoon itself. It was gorgeous. The colors were so deep, the purples, the pinks. I remember sitting there going, "Wow, that is the most beautiful thing." I was just a little kid. So when I finally got a chance to see the movie, it was my first time seeing it, and I was 28 years old. And it was great. It was great to see that. I had no idea it was a musical because I've never seen it. And we just had regular TV. We didn't have cable. As a matter of fact, I don't even think cable was available yet. And we were in Southern California. I don't remember having any problem with reception, but it was an awesome miracle to be able to go rent movies and see things that were in the theaters, you know, that we couldn't afford to go to or missed because there's just too much to see. I got married in 1983. So, yeah. First husband, 83, second husband, 93. I do remember rabbit ears as a kid, and friends with kids that wanted to make sure the TV was working for them. Sometimes we made all kinds of, kind of like the Bundys, tin foil antennas. Yes, exactly. You covered them in foil, you made all kinds of configurations, found the right place to have it for each channel. And see, perfect example. All of those TV signals are all coming at you at once. You have to tune in to the right one to get a clear picture. Same thing with vibration. I mean, it's vibrate. It's a form of vibration. It's just the visual wavelength. I'm sure you know. Oh yeah, that's what we were just joking about. It was very Bundy. Um, I don't remember Tommy and I messing with that much. I don't know why. I don't remember the television itself. I just know we had a nice one. It seemed like a nice one. I was happy with it. But then again, I was never into TV so much, except when you're a kid, um, that I noticed things like how big is that TV? I did notice the difference from when we went from black and white to color. I mean, that was pretty much a miracle. Uh, that's nice. It's amazing, right? Let me see. Gary sent a picture. Oh, smart house. When the computer at home has opinions of her own. Oh, what a perfect role for her. No, I was not aware of this. Um, I love her dress because her dress is very much like what my mother wore. And if you look at my picture for this website, you see my mother holding me in her lap. You can kind of tell what kind of dress she's wearing. And me wearing my usual skeptical look. That hasn't changed much. Okay, well, this is laid up for tomorrow. It's going to be a small change purse, I'm hoping, by the time it's done. Yes, old commercials are very interesting. Especially when you remember they used to have awards for commercials, and everybody's goal was to get you to not walk away from the TV. So I remember people yelling, what was it, Tums? Pepto-Bismol commercials. You went running to see what they were talking about. Who was it? Was it Pepto-Bismol? That's a species spicy meatball. It wasn't about meatballs. It was about what happened after you eat that. ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS. Sometimes got one channel from Canada. You know what I never got was the one that at Doctor Who. I remember someone talking about Doctor Who. You had to have just the right kind of reception for that. What did they do? Whenever I tried to find it, it was just staticky, and you could see a piece of the picture. It was just too scrambled for me to get into. Kid uploaded data to the house to create a live mother. Oh, okay. So dad is a widow. Well, let's ask somebody smarter than me. Where might I see the movie Smart House? It becomes an overly possessive virtual mother. 1999. Genre, drama, coming of age, comedy, science. Well, you know what? I guess you can't really touch this for reality because I have looked at the same places they said, oh yeah, it's streaming on that. And they said, no, we don't have that. Double check to see which channels I can watch that movie on currently. Okay, so that is Disney Plus or Hulu. You can also rent or buy it from Prime Video, of course. No, I don't need any more, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. My father loved Benny Hill. We used to be able to get that late at night. I think that came on after the Lakers games. Not the Lakers. My father didn't watch Lakers. We watched the Knicks. Oh, when the Knicks were playing, everybody was glued to the TV no matter what time the game was broadcast. Unfortunately, it was usually like at 11 o'clock at night. Two antennae out of a plastic box covered in foil. Yeah. Rabbit ears. Well, not everybody is as hung up on things like boobs as Americans. They're used to seeing bodies. Their cultures are literally thousands of years old, and ours are, well, 250 years old. So we've got a lot of growing up to do. It's still like kissing. I had sex. Okay. They did what normal humans do. Now, go play in your sandbox. Yeah, no, I'm boycotting. I will not put money into Disney or Amazon Prime. I already own a bunch of movies and sitcoms. I just rotate them. Oh yes, Monty Python, SCTV. That's where we discovered Rick Moranis and John Candy and the rest of the gang. Now, you know what? It's 5:08. I'm hungry, and I want to be able to come back tomorrow and feel refreshed and do this right because we have a really pretty setup right now, and I'm really eager to see how um, the different colors migrate through each other. So I'll return tomorrow and we will continue the experiment. This time I'm hoping I get it right. Try to make sure everything's got the decor, everything's got what it needs. And we're going to lay this over it so I do not accidentally blow things away when I'm walking around. So, my darlings, aloha! I will see you mañana, tomorrow, aujourd'hui, à demain. I send you peace and love and a good dinner.